new generation of giants of green. New generation for new giants of green. A new generation for you.
That song introduced many of you to a new generation of combines last year. During the past 12 months, North American farmers have used these combines in thousands of acres of every combinable crop. John Deere has claimed greater productivity, greater harvesting capacity for these combines. How have they measured up under tough farm field conditions? To get the answer to this question, new generation combine reporting teams have traveled all over North America. They've gone to the harvest fields, filmed farmers at work, asked farmers for their frank opinions on how these combines have actually done in the field. Nearly 50 interviews were made. There's not time to bring you all the reports today, but we will visit several farmers to hear their comments on new generation combines. First stop, Oneida, South Dakota. Custom operators Jack Felter and Herbert Weil of Lone Wolf, Oklahoma, moved north across the wheat belt with 4 6600s this year. Our interviewer asked,
Jack, how many acres did you cut and how many bushels did you run through those 4?
We've cut around 13,000 acres and between 350 and 400,000 bushel.
What states have you worked in?
We've worked in Oklahoma, we worked in Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota.
Herb, before you and Jack got your 6600s, you were running Model 95 combines. Can you give us any capacity comparison between the two?
Yes, I sure can. I believe our 6600s are probably a fourth to a third larger in capacity than what our 95s were.
What are some of the features of the 6600 that gives this increased capacity?
First, I think the larger platform helps. We're running a 22-foot platform now, where we run a 20-foot platform on the 95. Then I believe the straw walker system with the augers under it, along with the sieves in the 6600 have a quite a bit greater capacity than the 95 did.
Next stop on our reporting trip is Nakoma, Kansas. Clovis Price had finished harvesting about 35,000 bushels of wheat with his 6600. Our interviewer asked,
what about the capacity of the combine, Mr. Price, and what kind of a job did it do?
Well, it done a good job for us in both terraced land and on the flat ground. The best day's cutting we had was 105 acres in 11 hours cutting. We cut about 4,200 bushels of wheat and was weighed over the scales.
You've got a 22-foot platform on your 6600 combine. What do you think of it?
Well, I like the wide swath that it takes through the field. You can see where you've been when you get around. And then I like it real well on the terraces. One swath around the terraces in front will usually get all the wheat, where otherwise we had to make 2 cuts on lots of our terraced ground.
Our reporting team next headed northeast, traveling toward Moorhead, Minnesota, into windrowed wheat country. The Karlstrom family has farmed near Moorhead for many years. Our interviewer talked with Dwayne Karlstrom about his new 7700.
Dwayne, you traded in 2 old combines when you purchased this new 7700. Let's talk about its capacity. First, how about a comparison on the cylinder widths?
Well, in the 2 previous combines I had a total of about 76 inches of cylinder width. In the 7700, I have about 55 inches. And I find I can do just as much work per day with the 7700.
What about from the standpoint of acres harvested in a day?
In 35 bushel wheat, I've combined as much as 80 acres a day, and in 50 bushel wheat, about 50 acres a day.
How does this compare to your 2 old combines?
It compares very favorably. It's awful close to the same.
Another thing that's important to any farmer is the grain-saving ability of the combine. Have you checked the 7700?
I've taken a scoop shovel and held in back of the sieves and taken a shovel full of chaff, and I found that I haven't been able to get a kernel going over the sieves.
Another important thing these days is the comfort of the operator. And I notice you've got an air-conditioned cab on this combine.
That's a real lifesaver. It used to be when lunchtime came around, I couldn't wait to get out of the combine and stand in the shade of the truck and eat my lunch. But now I ask my lunch to be sent into the cab.
Leaving the Minnesota wheat fields behind, the interviewers headed into Iowa corn country. Destination, the beautiful rolling hills near Garnavillo, Iowa, where our interviewer talked with Alois Behrens about the problems these hills can create.
Mr. Behrens, tell us about the reasons for your buying the 4400 combine last fall.
Well, as you can see on our rolling hillsides, we were having a problem with ordinary combines throwing grain over on the lower side. So I stuck with a picker-sheller until recently, and then I saw that ad in the paper with the auger system in this 4400 combine. I decided I wanted to try that.
You picked corn in December of 1969. What kind of a job did the 4400 do for you?
It did a real good job of knocking the kernels off of the cob. It put nice clean grain into the tank, and it didn't throw anything over on the hillsides.
What about your acreage harvested, yields, moisture percentage, and so forth?
I harvested about 80 acres, which produced 11,000 bushels of dry grain. But when I harvested it, it was around 35.5% moisture.
Of course, at that time of year, the weather is bad. You want to get that crop out as fast as you can. Tell us about how you operate.
I traveled around 3.5 miles an hour, and I didn't have any loss on the hillside.
What about this year? How many acres do you plan to harvest?
I'll probably harvest around 315 acres.
What combine will you use?
This 4400.
The reporting team moved on into the heart of corn country, to the Dale Bacchus farm near Grundy Center, Iowa. Mr. Bacchus farms there with his 3 sons, Richard, Robert, and Roger. Our interviewer's first question.
Mr. Bacchus, I understand that when it came time to buy this 7700, that you weren't the most enthusiastic fellow in the world at the moment.
No, it was a little, I guess you'd have to call me the doubting Thomas. It was a little hard for me to believe that this machine could replace the 2 we had. But after a few minutes in operation, I knew I was wrong.
Richard, when did you buy this combine, and what are some of the features you considered at the time you made your purchase decision?
We purchased the combine in early November. There were several reasons we considered the combine. One was the shortage of manpower, and another one was the capacity of the machine.
Robert, now what about this machine? You operated it in the field a number of hours. How about your comments on its operation?
Well, of course, the first thing you notice with the machine is the capacity, but there are many other new features on the machine that are also worth mentioning. The ease of hookup to the corn head and the auger system for conveying the grain inside.
Richard, what about the quality of the grain when you run a big capacity machine like this? This is mighty important. Any comments?
The corn was going to the elevator, and as soon as we switched to the new combine, they could notice a change in the grain that we were bringing in.
About how many bushels would you put through the machine in an average day?
I think in an average day, a person could combine between 8,000 and 9,000 bushels.
It's a big jump from Iowa to Robstown, Texas for our next report. Our interviewer was in maize country to talk with Melvin Shannon about his 6600.
Melvin, what were the circumstances concerning your buying this 6600 combine?
Well, first this year I was going to need a new combine. And one day I happened to drop in the John Deere dealership in Robstown, and I happened to see the pamphlets on the 6600, and I looked at it and fell in love with the machine, and I says, I'm going to get me one.
So now you've had your machine out in the field, and it's gone through several acres and several 100,000 pounds of grain for you. What kind of a capacity job has it been doing?
Well, I had an instance of one day where I cut 6 hours, and I cut 220,000 pounds, and that's roughly 36,000 an hour, so that's eating the grain up.
What kind of yield has your crop been this year?
Well, at home I cut 44.50 per acre, and this here is running around 3,000.
What about some of the features of this machine, Mel? What are some of the things you like about it?
It's the convenience of the operation, where the controls are, and it handles just like a big play toy to me.
How about that grain tank? With yields like you're getting, I imagine the capacity of the tank and unloading is important to you.
Well, yes. Whenever I pull up to a truck, I can spit the grain out to it.
Now into rice country, as our interview team heads north toward Weiner, Arkansas. Rice harvest was in full swing on the Earl Redmond farm with his new 6600 combine. Later, our interviewer asked Earl how many bushels he'd harvested this year.
Oh, about 15,000.
On your best day, what sort of capacity did you get? How many bushels?
About 2,500 bushels in about 7 hours and a half.
You can fill up the 6600's grain tank pretty fast?
Oh, I can really lay that tank full.
Out in the field, our interviewer asked Earl if his 6600 did a good job in handling down rice in harvesting.
It sure does. Since they've improved the reel, speed, and the auger, taking that one auger out of the front, it really, really does a good job.
How do you like working with that hydrostatic reel speed control in down rice?
Oh, that's wonderful. You can just dial and get what you want.
It's quite a trip from Arkansas to Illinois as our interviewer moved on to Marietta, Illinois, to visit with Bruce Spangler about his 6600 in soybeans. When Bruce and Sharon Spangler bought their 6600, Bruce was dubious about dropping from a 50-inch to a 44-inch cylinder width. The 6600's capacity has now made a believer of him.
Well, we've run a little over 20,000 bushel of corn so far, and we're just real happy. We've got more capacity than the 105 had by quite a little bit.
The Spanglers bought a soybean platform for the first time when they bought their 6600, since they'd increased their bean acreage. Bruce said he can change from corn head to bean platform in 15 minutes. When asked how clean a job his combine does on beans, Spangler said,
"We haven't got no dockage on corn or beans this year. I mean, a lot of guys have had trouble with foreign material, especially in the corn this year when cob was hard to get out. Some of these beans are weedy. We just haven't had any problem with it. We're just real happy. As long as we aren't getting docked for foreign material or for FM, couldn't be more pleased."
These have been productivity reports on new generation combines from actual owner users. Many other farmers have been interviewed on their harvesting experiences in various crops with the 3300, 4400, 6600, and 7700 models. You can read their reports now and in the weeks ahead in the Furrow magazine and other farm magazine issues. These are factual statements on a new generation of combines which have proved their productivity. Let the model that fits your crops and acreage prove its productivity to you. sound of a professional on the job. One of 4 new chainsaws from John Deere. Chainsaws with good balance, lightweight, and a minimum of vibration, helping you to get through tough jobs faster. These new chainsaws have plenty of power per pound. Another guarantee of quick cutting and easy handling. From the fingertip controls and the fitted comfort grip, to the guide bar's power and wear-reducing roller nose, you'll get Performance Plus. There are 4 tough chainsaws, one just right for your job. From the handy Model 12 with a 15-inch guide bar to the rugged Model 19 with a 19-inch guide bar. Whether you need a chainsaw for occasional cutting and trimming, or for a big rough job like this, a fire-scarred oak, these new chainsaws are for you. Look at the job this Model 17 is doing. It's chained lightning. Powerful, aggressive, yet it's as easy to handle as a spinning rod. Choose the one that's right for you, and you'll find more time to put more fun in your life. Four new John Deere chainsaws. Lightweight, lightning fast.